Hey guys, Justin, Two Stall Garage. We're gonna put a light bar on the Jeep Liberty CRD. It's gonna be the OEM one, and I'm gonna show you how to do it step by step. Let's get started. Thanks for being here. It is negative 15 degrees outside tonight, so you're gonna hear that heater kick on from time to time. This is what we're looking at. We got the cover for the light bar. We got the OEM light bar itself. That's the OEM cover. We've got some washers over here because I don't have the original hardware. Here's the original hardware to hold the cover on to the actual light bar itself. We've got some bolts, a little bit shorter, a little bit longer. I think these are 17 or 19. These are 25 as far as thread count. Then we got some electrical components here where you can put these into the fuse box panel. These are going to go in without having to splice anything. Perfect. And we got just fuses over here. We might need to install one of these fuses. Got different variety of sizes there, I'm not sure. Got this off of Amazon, this off of Amazon. Got this at the local hardware store. Then we got this off of Amazon. This is a fuse box. Let me show you. This, number one, is empty. All the rest are not. We got working relays in here. Perfect. And then we got fuses to correspond with each individual one. I've got a plan for this. It's going to go right in the engine bay. So we're going to be running a light bar that can be turned on and off by one switch right here, this little three-way switch. So if we have it on off-road, all the lights are going to be on. If we've got it off, it's going to be normal. And if you got it on running, then it's going to be integrated right into the light switch for brights. So this way, if I'm driving down the road and nobody's around, or I'm off-road or something like that, gravel road, I can go ahead and flip this to running, and I can flip the brights on, and it'll turn right on. If I flip the brights off, they'll turn off. We'll be back to just the regular headlights. And I'm gonna work it so there's no fog lights except for if I've got the brights on, or if I have it into off-road mode and then it turns on all the lights. I know it sounds kind of silly, but with these LEDs, I really don't think that I need the fog lights anymore. I can probably make it work where the factory switch does open and close that circuit so that way they turn on and off, but I don't want to run into an issue where it's double powered. All right, check it out. This is going to be your instruction. I'm going to put, I don't know, I'll put this on the community notes page or the community page on the channel. This is just going to have some measurements right here. Yeah, that way I can line it up appropriately. And it shows where you mark your holes, you drill them out. And I don't have the hardware, like I said, so we're just going to wing it. We'll make it work. Let's just set that right there for the moment. Burr, oh burr, it's cold. Today it was negative 20, actual temperature. And we had this in the garage. It's got a block heater on it, but I usually don't plug it in. I got it hanging down here nice and conveniently just in case I need to or want to. But I'm telling you, it would have been an absolute struggle to try to get this thing to start if it was in or outside in the elements. You know, 15 degrees, absolutely. 0 degrees, of course. Negative 10, you bet. Negative 20, I don't want to take that chance. These CRDs can be a little bit of a problem to start in cold weather in the winter and just disconnecting the battery, but you can actually go on to the Facebook page. Looks like this battery is having some corrosion too. I think the battery might be going bad. If you go on the Jeep Facebook page, Jeep Liberty CRD, you can go and request a tune. Marco, it's the guy who does it. And you can get a winter tune on this or a cold weather tune. And the Black 06 Jeep has that. That will start up. It sounds like a box of rocks, but it just pops off. Heats up those glow plugs a little longer. Come on in here, take a look. I'm going to show you where we're at so far. It's cold in the Jeep. All right, I took this down. This pops off from the back. I can't hold this light at the same time. You can pull on this side, and it's just got two of these clips right here. But before you do that, make sure you come in there to that little hole right there. There's a screw in there. That's going to be right up here. You want to take that off, pop it down. You've got your column, which is right there. You're going to pop these two little rubber pieces off. I got them sitting on the bench out there. And then there's a little screw, and that is a 5.5. So you can see we got that pulled off. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these visors off, both of them. So I'm gonna unscrew the holder here. It's gonna come out, same on the other side. And then right up here, we got your 2 little screws. This is gonna come off. Sometimes you gotta pull a little bit harder, kind of work it out around so that way the wires will come out. Before I go any further, you can use this setup and configuration on any vehicle. It doesn't have to be Jeep Liberty CRD. You can put it on your tractor, you can put it on a boat. Anything that's got a power source, you can hook up a fuse box to and make this happen with that 3-way switch or 2-way switch, whatever you decide to do. So just remember that. I know not everybody's got a Jeep CRD, and that's probably a good thing. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, I got the heat on in here. I feel like I can barely feel my fingers. Just take your time when you do this type of stuff. Think about it like one step at a time. If you feel a little overwhelmed, it'll all come out just fine. And for some reason, if a mistake happens, you can fix it. Not a big deal. Gotta shimmy this out again, give it a little tug. Come on. There it is. Slides right out just like that. Bolts are still in. Just a quick little update. You can see we got everything on the hood right there. We got the columns or pillars, and we got the visors. 2 little plugs, screws accordingly. Now we're going to take that center console that's hanging down off. This has 3 different connections, but it's doable. 3 connections. Looks just like that. That's the way it faces. All right, last but not least, don't forget to remove your visor holders. Where are you? There it is. Nope. Yep. What? What's happening? It's a Phillips. Surprisingly, for 2005, this headliner is in good shape. And we have kids, so there's a good chance that it gets destroyed. But it hasn't. It's been doing good. The rule of keep your hands off the ceiling is good. This is decently long. That's a pretty big screw for this. I'm glad I didn't poke through the ceiling. And now what we're going to be basically doing is just pulling it down. We might pull off, I think we're going to pull off our weather stripping. Then we'll pull it down. We'll put it back up, and then we'll tuck everything back in appropriately. So let's do that. Let's take it down a little bit. These Liberties, just like that, they just fit right up. Nothing special. What exactly am I looking at with this string right here? You guys know? It's something to do with the airbag. I don't know. Is your connector? Connectors. Sunroof. We're getting close. For the sake of not getting your ceiling dirty, put some gloves on if you'd like to. I won't force you to, but I get greasy hands quite a bit. I mean, oily hands from touching the parts that are used, all that. Nothing to it now but climbing in and slowly pulling down until you can expose a little bit of your liner here. All right, so to get this headliner to come down more, I got to remove the side or the B pillars, and I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure it out. I'm going to show you the instructions for that. We're going to start drilling our holes. And then as we do that, I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to pull down just enough to see them. There's only like 6 spots that I'm going to have to secure a bolt to, and it's going to be okay. I might just sneak in the bolts underneath, throw them upwards, and let the headliner just hold it. It's always a strange feeling to cut holes in your roof. Going to want to make sure we seal this up. I think we've got some RTV. I better check. RTV silicone black. This stuff is really good. If I'm remembering right, I might have used something else. HT black. No, I think this is it. So we're going to be good. Just add this to our tool set. Instructions right here. So we got 70 plus 0/3 millimeters. So this should line up so it goes and drains right along the rain gutter. Okay guys, show you where we're at in the process here. Jumping up, oh, almost falling off. Try not to press on the rusty unibody. We marked all our holes. I just marked this one with a little bit bigger mark because that's going to be where the wire harness drops into there. I found some ultra black that I'm going to use on this. I got it sitting right over there versus the older stuff. The ultra black is on this side versus the HT stuff. In my experience, ultra black works really good. So we're going to use that to seal up our bolt holes. And the water on this is just going to be able to run right through, but it won't touch our bolt holes here. So we can pull this off. I'm going to pull this down. Remember, I marked the 7 holes that we're going to drill. So let's just do it. Let's just drill holes. Why are you guys sideways? What in the world? Starting off with the smallest holes. Okay, quick little update. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why do I have that right there? Anybody know? This is the big one. It's the little one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So I got to drill this one too, unfortunately. Grab the drill bit I was using. This is what the holes look like. Get a lot of shavings. Doesn't take much to punch through this tin or this metal. So just be careful. That's how it's gonna go. Got big washers to hold them down. We got some longer bolts, thankfully, because a couple of these need to be a little longer. We're gonna figure that out along the way. So I was able to find a little duplicolor stick. It's got your little sander, it's got your black paint on it. This is gloss black universal. Anyways, the black is pretty much gone, but at the bottom of this you got some clear coat. I used the clear coat and I just went around each hole. You can see there's a little bit of residue right there. It's just drying up. Did that to all the holes, so we should be good as far as rust is concerned. Now I'm going to take this grommet. I grabbed a bigger one just because I thought I should grab a little bit bigger one. We're going to put that right over that. I'm just waiting for that to dry up. It can be a little nerve-wracking to cut holes inside your vehicle, or in this case on the outside, 8 of them to be exact. But the overall end goal is pretty exciting to have a light bar on here to be able to see. Let's see if we can get this grommet to go in here now. Can't see with these glasses on too well. You're gonna go. Perfect. And that paint, that clear coat was just a little bit wet yet. And we're just gonna let that go right on there and seal it up. There's your finished product right there. Not too bad, looking good. We'll poke a hole in that. Good to go. Look at this, guys. As usual, it's getting late. It's dark out, cold. I think I might need to cut up some more wood, take inside, keep it burning, keep the house warm. Crystal, down here hanging out with me as usual. I did use a hole saw to do this piece right here. All right, it's about 11:30. Took a little break to have a little food. This is where we're at. Put some double-sided tape on this because it had double-sided tape there before. I don't know if it was from factory or just to help hold it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know why we don't have a hold down right here. I might do another hold down potentially. We'll see what happens. Anyways, I got the wiring done. The wiring looks like this, so very good. I couldn't find my black 16 gauge. I've got 16 gauge, I've got 18 gauge. This is both 16, 18 gauge is in the toolbox. This is 14 from the factory. Now you got to keep in mind these got 55 watt bulbs and it's got 4 of them. They're the halogens. So we're reducing that down to 26 per bulb. So less than half. So that's going to be good. So this is 14 gauge coming in to 16 gauge. The reason why this looks funky is because I actually was using the red over here on the black just until I found the black, and I found the black right after I put this on. So put some black duct tape over this just so there's no red wire showing. It's red from like here to here. Oh, but before I go into there, I got to tell you what I did. I grabbed this Hastronica 120 solder and seal connectors. So that comes in really handy when you're doing your work. These are the solder connections, and then these are your sleeves right here. And I picked this up from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Excellent buy. It's Dorman, works perfectly. This, I don't know where Dad got this from. Maybe Amazon, I'm not sure, but it's a good set. You can get some from O'Reilly as well. Before I take the double-sided tape and expose it, I'm just gonna get this set on there. I don't know if we're gonna need it, actually. Maybe, maybe not. And I just made this wire long enough so that way it would come down and be exposed. And tomorrow I'm gonna run it through. We're gonna hook up the relays, all that stuff, fuse box. I had to figure out a way to get this done just for tonight. It's securely mounted, but I think I would like to do 2 more things to it. It's about 12:14 in the morning. I'm still working on this. You can see I got my big pile right over here. Here's the plan. Are you ready for it? I've got plastic anchor, plastic anchor, plastic anchor, plastic anchor. Then I've got bolt and bolt. And these are nice and tight, totally holding down the back end of this light bar. Then I've got the grommet, and I threw some clear silicone on it. It's still white, but it's turning clear. That's why you can see the black. That is all sealed up. I think it was sealed up without because of the grommet. Anyways, it's sealed up now. The wires are going in perfectly. Excellent, excellent. Probably don't move it around too much. Just make sure we don't have a lot of pressure on it. The plan going forward, as soon as I get into town next, I'm going to remove this plastic anchor and the far one over there. I can get my hand up in, but I just can't get the bolt on. I can push the bolt down through, but I can't get the nut on. Or I can push the bolt up, but I can't push the bolt up. So I am stuck trying to reach right up in here. And let me tell you, there's not a lot of space. Honestly, you could probably go without doing these 2 holes right here in the middle and just do 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to show you that right now. If you were doing one of these yourself, you could get by doing double-sided tape in the places I showed you earlier in this video. Do it a little bit thick, right? You've got space. It's okay if it's a little thick. Water's going to run through this. It's not supposed to stay inside or be sealed all the way around. Nothing like that. You don't want that. So double-sided tape this thing if you want to. But then you can do a bolt right here. You can access these by reaching up through the headliner, and you can get to them. These are great. One right here, one right here. Now, for this plastic anchor, I drilled this hole because it said to. I can't get to that bolt unless I'm going to drill through 2 layers, and I don't want to do that. So I sealed it up with a plastic anchor, silicone around it. It's already curing up really good. This stuff lasts for a long time. This is holding right here as well. I've still got double-sided tape right here and in the back. And I'm going to put some double-sided tape here on the sides as well, but I'm not going to do that until I replace this plastic anchor with a bolt, because I can get it to where I can put the bolt in. You know, one of those where it opens up on the inside that you'd use like on a drywall installation. But it's going to work for this because I could get my hand up underneath of this to hold that and loosen it up if I ever want to take it off. But I can't get a nut on there, put my fingers up there because it's such a small space. So this is coming out and a regular bolt's going in. Far side, that one's coming out and a regular bolt's going in. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts holding this thing down. It's already held in. I mean, it's in there. It's in there tight. Lights should be here tomorrow. We're going to keep this video going. Yeah, you know, it's not a bad deal at all. I'm not worried about it. I think it's going to be good. I just wish I had the right hardware so I could have put 4 bolts in instead of 2. It's okay. I can wait until tomorrow or the next day and it will be just fine. I just want to get it done and completed. You know what I mean? How you guys doing? I got insulation all over my hands. Headliner stuff. I'm going to put this back together mostly, and I'll be right back. I thought there was a different cat in here. No, just Crystal. You know how it goes. What's the deal? I don't want to put. don't even want to put this together yet without, you know. Did you just ask me if we're going to do this to the black Jeep? Of course. But I think we're going to do another video on that one because I'll be more experienced, right? We'll have this one out of the way. Totally, this is totally an okay install. I'm telling you. Very simple. Just, if you don't have the original hardware, you don't want to cut holes through a whole bunch of things, you can install it really easily, and I'll put the steps that I would recommend in the description below. I'm going to do that for you guys. Thanks for bearing with me here. I'm learning as I go with this thing. We're good though. All right, now let's get to the point where tomorrow comes and we put the wiring on. Okay guys, I got some updates. I went to Menards today. It's just a local hardware store. Toggle bolts. These are zinc plated. I got 10 24 by 2. There's 2 of these, and there's 2 in this pack too. These are just a little bit smaller. These are going to be number 6. These are going to be number 10. Just to show them to you here real quick. This is what they look like. Whoa, I'll show you the back of the bigger ones anyways. So as your fastener goes in, it's going to be like in a V shape. As soon as it gets through the bolt hole, it spreads out like that. I can't get my hand underneath to put a nut on the bolt and screw it on. So these are going to come through, spread out, and then I'm going to put a little up pressure on it on the top side, and it's going to just, it'll screw up nicely. Got my coffee up here. I know I said I was originally going to go with that ultra black RTV, that gasket maker, but I think the silicone works nice. I mean, this basically becomes an adhesive, and that is sealed up right there. Nothing's getting through. And I kind of wish I didn't have to take these off because I've already got it in and set. So I'm gonna have to reseal it. That's okay though. Today is day 2. I drove it into some high winds today. We've got kind of a snow system going through. I shouldn't say snow system, there's no snow. You can see that silicone was beginning to set. We'll get rid of that. That other side's going to be a little bit different than this. So here it is, here's your V. See how it goes like that. And then once it gets below, it's going to spread out. So in, out. This one is not going to work, so I'm going to grab the smaller ones. Yeah, I didn't think those would fit in there. Put the size 10s back, grab the size 6s. Simply put, if these don't fit, I'm going to drill it out so that they do. I'm just going to drill right through the light bar and into that existing hole. Huh. Well, there's 4 of them in there. Grab a little more on that one. I'm going to have to drill it out just a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's go grab that drill. It's going to be worth it in the end. Headliner's all up. I put it all back together. I don't know if I showed you guys last night. Oh, I got another surprise here. Let me check. So like I said, each one of these bulbs is 1,000 lumens, 9006 halogens. Went ahead and ordered from Oxido. Not a sponsor of this video, nothing like that. I just like their bulb. This is a 2-pack of 9006/HB4. I am anticipating getting these done and in today, so I'm going to put them right there. They're supposed to be 1-to-1 ratio size. You got really tight space in here, so there's not a lot of give or take. So they had to be pretty much exact to fit. It's got a nice bead around it, pushed all the way through. It's not going to hit the headliner because it's got a metal, basically like a metal floor underneath of it. It's tight. You don't need to over torque these things down. This is just not going anywhere. I'm using this side. We're going to put this right in the crease, and I'm dropping it down. We're going to just see if that rests. See that, how it rests right on there, just that angle. Hey, I found my empty coffee cup. Hey guys, if you're watching this video, it means we're on part number 2 of the Jeep Liberty light install. And I'm pretty excited at this point in time, honestly. I am at the point where, well, we'll say since you guys are here too, right? We've got the ground and the positive cable run from the OEM light bar through the firewall, and I'm just going to give you a real quick taste. Can you guys see this? Yep, you can see a little bit. I don't know, you might have seen the video I did. I did a short and then I deleted it because it just didn't turn out quite like how I planned. But here you go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. The fans are kicking in on those things. Anyways, that's the preview you're going to get because that's as far as I've got. I've got the wiring right here. I'll show you this right here. Here's the fuse box that I got off of Amazon. You can find these all over the place. You can find them on eBay. This one has 6 relays. I can't remember what this one is. These are JD 19, 14, 12 volt, 40 amp relays. And then you've got different fuses. They put a different assortment in here. Starting off, see if I can see them. We got 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, and 5. And I can put whatever size I want in here. Got to keep in mind of the relays, of course. And then you've got your outputs. You got your, each relay has a yellow, a blue, and a white. And the yellow is normally open, the blue is normally closed, and the white is going to be your control wire. Show you guys there. So basically, if I hook up a little bit of power to this control wire, this yellow, which is normally open, it's going to end up being a closed circuit because say we just put a tiny little bit of electricity to that or voltage, this relay will close. So power is going to flow through the normally open. Does that make sense? Normally open means, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but normally open means not initially flowing voltage until there's some sort of signal that comes from like the white control wire. Okay, it's time to act. Normally I'm open. Now I'm going to act, so I'm going to close the circuit. Electricity flows through. So I'm trying to figure this out. Not an electrician by any means. I got a technical background, if you will, and that's helping out, I suppose, a little bit. Not really. Not a whole lot. I've got the ground wire, and then I've got fuse wires right here. These are 14 gauge. Got these off Amazon as well. I'll try to put these in the link. And if I don't put them in the link or the description below, then just message me and I'll answer you. I'll just have to do twice as much work instead of just putting them in there normally. Anagora pulse holder, otherwise known as fused connection. Did the shrink wrap on this. Got some little connections here. These are 16 to 14 gauge Dorman weatherproof ring terminals that I've got right on here. I've got these. I haven't used these though. Here's some of the 16 gauge wire. I should have probably used 14 gauge because I believe this is 14 gauge coming out. But the issue is not going to be, there's not going to be an issue. Reason being because on the fog light bar it's got 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Normally those are 55 watt halogens a piece. So 50 times 4, 200 times 4, 20. So 220 watts coming out of these lights. There we go, right there. But the new ones, albeit they're 10 times as bright each, they're only 26 watts because they're an LED. Got these LEDs from Oxido. No, they didn't sponsor the video. I bought them because we have Oxidos in our front lights and those work well. Long story short, we are not going to overwhelm our 16 gauge wire. And this is going to be more than plenty. I'm going to put a 20 amp fuse in each of these just because I could probably get away with 15, but I'll do a 20. Maybe I'll start at 15 just to try it out and see if it blows the fuse. No big deal. Here's how this is going to sit. It's going to sit right down in here, just like this. I need to build some sort of a plate that comes off the battery hold down. Just kind of bend it, have it come up a little bit. These guys make a Sasquatch tray, but it's not available anymore. Might have been able to tap into that. I might try to see if some of you guys out there have a Sasquatch heavy-duty battery tray for the Webasto heater that you might want to sell. But for now, it's going to sit right down here, and I'll figure out the mounting later. Turn our Harbor Freight lights on. I've got the fuel housing and filter out of the way. And then, can you see it's right down in here? If you look right down in here, if you've got a Jeep KJ, just kitty corner like this from your steering column coming out of the firewall, there's one unused grommet. It's definitely this way on the diesels. I don't know if it's used up on the gassers with the 3.7s or not. The Jeep currently has 320,000 miles on it. Is that right? No. What's it at? 319,000 miles. So we're almost 40,000 miles into the rebuild of this engine, and it's going well. We rebuilt the top end, new head, new valves, new seats, seals, all that stuff, right? Here is the headlight bar. If I open the door, you can see everything's put together. It's all good. I've got the wires running right down here and through. I've got this part out right here. This is where your OEM switch would go if this came with the OEM light bar, which this one didn't. Take a little screwdriver and pry that out. Comes right out. Crystal sitting in the back seat. You're not supposed to be in there. I'm going to let it slide for this one time, okay? All right. Are you being good? Are you behaving? Okay. Here's our wires like I showed you before. Positive and negative. I thought these were black. Must be going a little colorblind. They're brown. Brown and red. So brown's going to be the negative. I do have black sitting over on the bench, but for this, we're going to use this up. This wire right here is going to be the ground connection that goes to the switch inside. Let me show you that. Just in case you didn't see the last video yet. There we go. Those OEM light bar lights will turn on with the bright light switch on the inside of the cab. And if it's in the middle like that, that means, as you can see, that it's off. So nothing will change. It'll be standard setup. And then we've got this one up here. And now we're going to have this available. So if we put in more lights, I don't know if my dear wife wants me to do it or not, but I'm thinking about putting some KC highlighters right there. Oh boy. So I want this to be functional, a good tool to have so we can see deer. You got to be careful because you can't run your off-road lights on the highway. So make sure you use your discretion. But I want these to be a functional tool. When does it become too much light? You guys tell me. I'm going to work on figuring out the wiring the rest of the way here, and I'll be right back. All right, I reached the point. I just want to show you something. Swing on in here with me. We're swinging. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. There we go. So right down here, you can see this. Here's the switch. I got it connected to the ground. It just goes right here. It's your interior switch that I was just showing you. Let's try to get that out of the way real quick. Maybe put it down there. Your KJ has a really nice access panel. Up here and on the other side right over there, these just pull off. I used a trim removal tool. But then you can get in here. Look at all this space. You can get right in here. Here's the 3 wires I got run so far. I have enough space where I'm going to be able to put conduit or electrical tubing or sheathing over these, which is going to be good. And then when you're looking behind your switch, you want to be aware, you don't want to mess up this mounting hole. You don't want to mess up that mounting hole. You've got a little bit of space, but be aware if your switch has got, quite a bit of backing on it, you want it to go right into that hole right there. And this one's it's going to fit in there good. So thankful for that little access panel. I need a labeler. I don't have one, so let's just put 3-way switch ground cable. These are the light bar cables. We're going to keep moving forward, get some more wires run through here. Got a little mess going on from this project. We're going to find the right corresponding one. I got wire taps here, fuse taps. You can get a variety of them. I will try to put this in the description as well. We're looking for the same layout as these right here. Doesn't need to carry much power, so that's a good thing. Remind me when I get a chance to go to a place that will actually have some good fuses. The Amazon stuff just sometimes isn't great. It's thinner, it's probably stretching out the actual fuse connections spot. Why do I smell something hot? Okay, so we're showing 12.81 volts right there. What I'm gonna do, this thing's gonna go dead probably. I am going to test the switch in there. I've got these labeled. I could really use a white electrical wire, 16 gauge. I should have bought that from you guys at O'Reilly, because that would be the control wire color. I don't feel like wiring up a positive color for the control wire. Yes, electrical current will flow through it, but it's not a high output. There's not other, it just needs to be white because it's a control wire. So I've got a ground. You can see it's got its 6 terminals, 3 here, 3 here. Can you see that? 3 on this side, 3 on this side. Here's your ground right here with this yellow terminal connected. This is the power that's only on when the brights are on through that switch, which is engaged right there in that jumper. You can see the red coming out. So little 10 amp fuse, power comes into here. Nothing lights up, nothing changes unless I push this down, and then this light will light up. It's not going to right now. And then there is power to this top terminal right here. Now if I were to flip the other way to off-road, it would put power down here to this terminal, which could go to another relay and then power some other auxiliary lights. This switch is pretty sweet because if I have it over here, if I have power right here on this side, then I've got 2 more light options. So it's a 3-way switch, and I can go 1, 2, 3, 4 different auxiliary sources that need power. Nothing will fail. It'll be good. Actually, I've been successful for not really understanding the full concept yet. It's working out. I don't really have any great diagrams either to reference it. So I didn't short anything out. I didn't blow any fuses while the camera was off. So you got to give me a little bit of credit right there. We're doing good. I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna keep moving forward. Okay, I'm gonna bring you on in here for a close-up look. So I didn't have enough fuses to do this. I want to put 2 20 amps in here. This says that you want to connect up both positive cables so that we get the best output. You've obviously got 6 high power output relays. I've got like a 30 in here and a 25. I'm going to pick up a couple 25s and put them in here from O'Reilly. Thank you very much. Versus online. Maybe I shouldn't say that. It's kind of mean, probably. So forgive me if that's mean. Yeah, anyways. So 2 20s are going to be in here eventually. There's a 30 and a 25 in there right now. I tied the 2 positives together into one. You can see I got a nice sheathing job on this. Now here's the blue. This is always closed, which means there's electrical current flowing through it always. If you got positive and the ground hooked up, here's the ground that goes to our relay box. Now keep in mind, these are all uncovered right here, all opened up. So I took out all of the fuses except for this one right here. This is a 25, I do believe, or is it 20? What is it? Can I see it? Let's see. It's a 20. So I'm going to put 2 20 amp fuses in here instead of 25s. But check this out. We got our tester right there. There's 12. Let's get a quicker reading out of this. There, 12. Now check this out. I'm going to put this to the yellow right here. Yellow. Nothing. Now I'm going to switch this over to the blue, which is always closed, normally closed. Blue, 12.71 volts. So that means that the light bar would always be on if we connected to the blue right there. But we're going to connect to this yellow, which is closed, or open, I should say, so there's no current flowing through it. And then our control wire right here, when that gets power from that switch inside there, when I hit the brights on, it's going to engage the relay. This is going to close, and we're going to have lights right up there. It's all coming together, guys. Pretty cool. So I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to go ahead and put some electrical tape over that right there. Close it off. All right, it's getting late, and I need to shut it down for the night. I've got a wiring mess over here, but guys, I got it all set up. No setbacks, but the bulb, one of the LEDs, or the bulbs, must not be an LED, but one of the bulbs on the switch on the inside of the cab burnt out already. There's your kind of like online type of stuff. I'm gonna try to buy the same switch again, probably, maybe. I just switched it to the off-road lights, which kind of makes sense anyways. So if those lights are on, the off-road portion is gonna be lit. Let me show you. Here, I'm gonna show you the wiring first, I guess. You can kind of see it in here. I've got 3 grounds. One's the switch, one's the light bar, one is the fuse box right here. The fuse box needs to be mounted up yet. I need to make that plate that comes up for that. We have got both positives tied in together, which is good. We've got the fuses coming off right here. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of creative work. I think I'm gonna have these come up from back here so they can be tucked in down there. Then I've got a wiring mess, but it's too late. I gotta get to bed, I gotta get inside. Actually had a piano delivered tonight, which is pretty cool. It's an electronic piano, full 88 keyboard length, etc. Because I'm gonna be learning how to play. Anyways, in a manly way, right? Yep, I like the music. It's good stuff. Hey, good morning. We're just continuing on here to move forward. I'm doing something that's a little bit wonky, but it's not a big deal. I went ahead and made a plate. It's going to be for the, goodness, I'm just so tired. This is going to be a mounting bracket, which is going to go right behind the battery here. It's actually going to face this way. The paint's not quite dry yet. It's going to be a bolt right down here in the middle, and it's going to scooch right down in here, and the battery tray is going to hold it down. So that way that will mount to that. Let's let that keep drying. Got a Central Machinery ultrasonic cleaner. I'm really excited about that for the 3-wheeler. Okay, so when I come to do the wiring, which I need to do, we've got our little Harbor Freight material here. This is the conduit, the tubing, sheathing, whatever you'd like to call it. This stuff, if you run it in your engine bay, like I am doing, it will last a little while. Probably last about, maybe 20,000 miles before it starts deteriorating, depending on how hot your engine bay gets. This is from the factory. This is still holding up good. This I put on probably about a month ago. This from factory as well over here. It really deteriorates, but you can use it in situations where you're inside or not high heat or bad weather applications. Right up here. Can you see this maybe? It's blocking the light. This right here is our wiring. That's coming from the switch in the dash. It's running right straight up there out the conduit. How cool would it be to have a 6-speed manual transmission with the Jeep CRD? I'm not sure if you lose a little bit with the transfer case, if you lose that ability to run it in the full-time 4-wheel drive. I don't know if you do. I don't think you do. But if you happen to find a Jeep Liberty Sport with the 6-speed, that's going to be later in the years, maybe 2004, 2005. Something like that. Silly stuff, I know, but I get excited about silly stuff. Now for the inside, I'm going to put this cover back on. If you don't put it back on, it's not a big deal, but I like to have everything as complete as possible. I'm not too incredibly impressed with this, but remember, this can come out if we ever need it to. This is just to mount that fuse box to. These are my screws for that. All right, I'm back. It's dark outside again. I don't have a lot of time to be out here, but I'm thankful if you made it this far in the video. Even if you clicked off 30 seconds in, I'm still thankful for you. I'm going to show you what we got done with the wiring. And, you know, I'm kind of particular when it comes to this stuff. I'd like it to be good. You guys see me? But I don't want it to be, well, I would like it to be perfect, but it doesn't get perfect. So here's what it's at. I'm going to start off right here. We put 3 grounds into one. This is the fuse box along with the grounds for the 3-way switch and the ground for the light bar. All right into there. It snakes around in a nice way right down here. You can see it right around. Now I'm gonna have to talk a little closer since that furnace came on. Got our positives still there. They're coming down here. This is done nicely. And then right over here, just watch as it continues to come down. You see that? There it is. So we got a couple wires coming out, but it's a clean install all the way down through the firewall and then down underneath the dash to the 3-way switch and to the fuse box inside. It looks like this the entire way with exception of this right here, and that's because I've got a control wire coming out which should be white, but it's brown because, you know, You were here for that part of the video probably. Didn't have the wire that I needed, the white wire. And then we've got a ground, and then we've got a positive. So these positives, or the positive is coming right into the fuse box, which is right here. I guess I should talk about that too. So here is the fuse box. I just went ahead and I took 2 thin pieces of metal. These are license plates. And I bolted them together on the top and bottom. Then I drilled 2 holes, one right here, one right here. This fuse box mounts right up. If I need to access the fuses, I can just pull this off. Just like that. And you can see we've only got one. We've got options for all kinds of other accessories here, more lights. But we're gonna leave it just like this. And I've got this plate, which is holding on to this, mounted down in the battery hold down. There we go. That's gonna stay. It's got just a little bit of play to vibrate around if it needs to, which is just fine. It's pretty sturdy actually. It looks like it's not, but it is sturdy. If I wanted to, I could maybe do like a suction cup, little hole there, or just one suction cup in the middle and suck it right up to the battery, but I'm not gonna worry about that. It is just fine. I've already watched it running, hangs out just fine. I'd like to have this a little cleaner. I got a label maker on order. This is, what is this? This is the light bar positive coming up to the yellow, which is normally open. So I don't know what to do. What would you guys do with this part right here? Would you take the time to wrap this all up and make it black, or would you just acknowledge that sometimes wires are going to show? Here's some wires right down here. Those are exposed. It's green and it's black for our brake reservoir sensor. The only thing I want to do is I need to find something like this material right here. See if I can get the camera to stop shaking around. Something like this, so I can put it around that. These are all dead, nothing going. I capped one of them off because I was going to do that, but I ran out of material. I'd like to just put something right over all of these. I'm only using one wire out of here. Well, I guess I got the control wire coming out as well. But with that said, I think we're going to be good here. Yep. Hey, Crystal. There, that's shut off. That's good. What do you guys think? Test it out. It's dark out. Might as well do it right now. I don't know when I'm going to get back up in here again. You don't take the easy way sometimes, do you? I really like these lights from Harbor Freight. They last quite a while. I should probably charge them, but I don't have the time at the moment if we're going to go do this. It is late. I got to get up for worship in the morning. This bar you get as well pulls right off. Just a little last double check. I like the way this runs around. This is nice. I mean, if this wasn't sticking out like a sore thumb, and this green piece of paper right here, this green tape, just like that stuff, then it wouldn't look so bad. It wouldn't stick out. So I'm going to cover this up eventually. I won't worry about showing you guys that. And I got that label maker coming, which I'll just make a nice label for that. Crystal, come on, you got to move. Come on. I don't have my microphone on because it's late and I am not wanting to play that much effort at the moment here. Everything looks good. Nothing's gonna rub as these come down. I'm just double checking. Yeah, it is. Silly me. Let's get these down here where they belong. You can throw a lot of light into a snowstorm and it doesn't do any good. It just makes it worse, in my opinion. It's like you're in warp speed and you see every single snowflake coming at you, but you can't see the road. So we left the fog lights alone so we can use those on low beams, driving in the hazard conditions. All right, let's go test. Should be good. I don't know if you'll see it on the camera very well. We'll try. I did a short and it didn't really do a whole lot of good. Didn't do it justice, let's say that. And I didn't show you guys this in a video, but I totally maimed the garage door and I had half of it hanging off, this side over here, and I had to readjust it for days, like 3 or 4 days, until I finally got it in adjustment. So now it opens and closes like it's supposed to. Crystal's in the Jeep. Silly cat. It's just a success I wanted to share with you guys because you know how it feels when things just don't go right. Put a new garage door opener on and just, oh. Actually, as soon as I turned on the bright lights, I seen something in the field running. I tried to keep my eyes on it. We lost a couple chickens this winter. Okay, so here we go. This is just with the standard low beams, and then this is with the high beams. These are high-powered LEDs from Oxedo. I think I told you guys that. Here we go. Low beams. Those are the high beams. You really can't tell much difference. Low, high. The low on the front passenger side is a little bit too high up. And then there it is with the headlight bar. Just does very well. No fires, no smoky smell, nothing like that. So that's good. Look how much it lights up the hood. So I'll turn those off by turning that switch off again. I'm going to hit the high beams. There's the high beams. Now I'm going to turn the low beams on, but I'm going to turn my switch on so that way the OEM factory high beam switch is active. And look how much it lights up the hood of this Jeep. If that gives you any idea. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's a stop sign way down there. Off. Yeah, you get the idea. Look at that. Pretty neat, huh, guys? Kinda cool. Wow. That's good. You guys hear any coyotes out here? All right, well, it's dark out. That's gonna be it. Hopefully a beautiful day tomorrow. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. It is Saturday night, so we'll talk to you next time. I don't know when I'll be back in the shop. Hopefully it'll be soon. If not, thanks for being here, and I'll talk to you as soon as I can. Everybody have a good night. We'll talk to you later. From our garage to yours. Got some bright lights. See you guys.